Black and White and Red All Over by Rudy Bischof. It was back in '8 and '7, if I correctly recall. We was trailing cows to Fort Worth, end of the summer, pretty near fall. Now up the old Chisholm Trail, we'd been pushing 'em real hard, and I'll tell you, them dogies was mean, lean, and some plenty tired. Now, yonder up from Georgetown, there ain't a lot but mesquite, cactus, and rocks, which don't make much for a cow to eat. So when we come to that green grassy spot with that little old crick running through, about a week out from the stockyard, why, it seemed too good to be true. The boss called a halt and says, "We're going to stay right here where we're at and give these cows a few days to get fat. Yep, let's feed 'em up good. We'll rest a mite too. Make for a better price at the yard and maybe more moolah for you." Well, we all were thinking that sounded just great, but we didn't have no clue of the legend we was about to create. Now, we'd been laying around for a day or two. Except for a few chores, there weren't much of nothing to do. So to pass the time by, some of the boys gets up a game. But with no money, playing for matchsticks seemed just a little too tame. So one of them boys says, "Hey, let's spice up these stakes." And a game of strip poker's the suggestion he makes. Yeah, we'll bet with our duds from our hats to our boots. And if you're unlucky, you'll wind up wearing nothing but your birthday suits. Now, you might think you know how this little story plays out. But, partner, there's a twist in this tale you know nothing about. Oh, it's bare-naked cowboys for sure and for certain. But the lightning bolt and the nuns? Ha, them's the parts I've been skirting. See, a storm had been a-building all day across the land, and a big thundercloud rolled in as the boys were playing the last hand. And right smack over the chuck wagon, she cut loose a huge bolt with a crack and a boom and one hellacious jolt. Well, 6 cowhands jumped up, most naked as a jaybird, and they was staring right down both barrels of a stampeding cow herd. Now, to say them boys hit the road running ain't no baloney, but with no time for hosses, why, they lit out on Shank's pony. And they sure was a sight as they tore up that trail. Them boys was in the lead, but them horns were hot on their tail. Now, coming from Waco down the other way in a wagon, there was 2 mules, an old padre, and 4 new brides of heaven. Now these nuns and that padre, all filled with heavenly vision, was a-traveling down to the Goliad mission, and all peaceful and innocent, just a-moseying along. The old padre was a-dozing at the reins, and them sweet nuns was a-singing a pretty little song. Well, this serene little scene was about to come to an end, and now I'll bet my boots that you can guess what's a-coming round that next bend. Yep, whoopee-tie-yi-ay, what a shocking surprise. Why, there was yelling, mooing, cussing, and 4 little nuns trying to poke out their eyes. Why, there was cows jumping mules, and black and white nuns riding steers, and 6 bright red cowboys wearing nothing but dust from their toes to their ears. Now, I'll tell you, it took a little doing to sort this mess out. But now you all know what the legend's about. Well, we rounded up them cows and got about every stray. Then we helped our new church friends get started back on their way. The old padre drove off, shaking his head, kind of dazed. Them nuns was fast counting beads with eyes wide and glazed. And finally we coaxed them naked boys to come out of the bushes with handfuls of leaves covering their frunces and tushes. Now, out of this kerfuffle, one thing can be surely said, and that's the next man to suggest playing strip poker might just get shot dead. So when y'all hear this tale told out on the range or maybe in the saloon, you'll hear that old joke. "Hey, do you know what's black and white and red all over?" Sung to a quite different tune.